process today. And we're going to evaluate the process. We're going to look at, is it a technology? Well, yes, it is. And we're going to look at how to make it better. So a process, we would say, is a series of steps that is used to accomplish a goal. So for example, the way you wash dishes. Do you dry them before you put soap on them? No. So when you're washing dishes, you put soap, you run the faucet, you wash them, you scrub them, then you dry them, you put them in the drying rack. If you put it in the drying rack first, are they going to get clean and dry? No. So there's an order you have to do certain processes. So I want you to think about the steps in the process of making potato chips. Okay? So I want you to think about the steps. What are some of the steps in making potato chips? Brooke. Unloading the potatoes from the truck. AJ.
Like cooking the potato?
Cooking the potato. So we unload the potatoes. What do you have to do to the potatoes before you cook them? Because AJ's right, you do want to cook them. Marianne. Wash them or clean them. Then, can we just throw the whole potato in there and cook it?
No.
Gretchen.
Peel it and slice it.
Peel it and slice it. Then we cook it. Then what do you do after you cook it? Matt.
It's salted.
Salted or seasoned.
And cooled.
And cooled. So cooled, salted, seasoned. Ryan.
Then you start to package it.
You package it, so you need to put them in bags. What happens to those bags? Kaylin. Put in boxes. So, ready? They're sorted. They're peeled. Cutting. Cooking, packaging, shipping is the last one.
And then eating.
Then eating. That's my favorite part, I have to say.
Depends on the type.
Okay. Can you use the engineering design process to improve a process? Yes. I would agree. You would absolutely improve. So, we are going to make an engineering folder today. We're going to mass produce them for the 5th grade. So here's what an engineering folder looks like. It's 2 pieces of construction paper. So you can put all your engineering papers in here, and it's got a nice little pencil pouch. So and it's stapled together. So I'm going to give you a nice look. So I want you to think about what steps do you think need to go into making an engineering folder. So think about the steps. What's one step, Charlotte?
Probably to get the paper.
Get the paper. So let's say we have all the materials together. The actual steps you would do to the materials. Hannah, can you give me one?
Put the papers together and staple them.
Put the papers together and staple them. Jack.
Glue the white piece of paper.
Attach the white piece of paper. It's actually Scotch tape, so not glued, but it's Scotch tape. David.
Write engineering on the white
Write
piece of
engineering on the paper. So I want you to think about this question. Is it efficient to make these by yourself? I want you to think about it. Efficient means least amount of work. I mean, you get the most done with the least amount of effort in the least amount of time. How many people say it is efficient to make them alone?
Wait, when you mean alone, do you mean like...
You're making your own individually, and you're just going to keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we're going to say 12 and 11. So we're going to test this out. Here are the actual directions. If you run out of construction paper, I want you to raise your hand and say I need more construction paper. If you run out of white paper, I want you to raise your hand and say I ran out of more white paper. You should not. I also, as you're working, if you're waiting for something, so say you're waiting for a stapler or the tape, I want you to take your hands and kind of lay back like you're relaxing. So I'm giving you 10 minutes. Is 10 minutes enough time? Okay. No. On your marks, get set, go. First part of the lesson where they're doing it individually, it's designed to frustrate them. And usually I will preview with them, and I did it with a student this year, where I just say, this is designed to frustrate you. If you get really frustrated, walk away. You're done. You don't have to do it. I had 4 groups of 5, and I had 3 students left over, so I made them my quality control. If I know that that's a kid that's going to flip out or have a hard time with the frustration, I will make them the quality control, because then they don't have anything to do with that frustrating part, and it kind of alleviates that stress. So you kind of do have to plan ahead for that, but I've never really had a huge issue with anybody losing it and being out of control. You do have those extra competitive kids that you have to kind of talk down a little bit, but they usually get over it.
No.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, all hands up, hands up, hands up. So about 30 folders. Out of 30 folders, which I should have just counted them all, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 that we would consider high quality. What were some problems you encountered while making these folders? Marianne? The weighting. Did the weighting impact how many you could make, Marianne? So it impacted your speed. It slowed you down. What else? Why were you waiting? Matt?
We were waiting for staplers.
So you're waiting for tape and staplers. Why do you think, what was the problem? Why were people having quality control issues? Crispin?
Because people were making careless mistakes.
Careless mistakes. So they were careless. Was this a lot of steps to follow?
Yeah.
And you had to follow them in order?
Not really. No. Yes.
So in general, it's a lot of steps. Tony? Well, you were trying to get a lot done in a short amount of time. So waiting, was that the biggest problem, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think if you didn't have to wait as long, the quality may have went up because you wouldn't have rushed as much? Okay, so we are going to make an assembly line. So for our assembly line, you're going to work in groups of 10. So I'm still going to have 3 quality control people. 3 students are going to be drawing lines. 1 student is going to do each side. Okay? So if this was the assembly line right here, Cooper would draw the left side, Chris would draw the bottom, Eric would draw the right side. Then the next person in the assembly line places the second piece of construction paper behind it. That's all that person does. Then they hand it to the next person. On your mark. Get set, go.
Lesson 2, I really want them to come away from the unit with the idea of what an industrial engineer would do. So specifically, like we were making our folders. So they would look at the process of making a folder, and they would look at what way can we make it better. What way can we improve this process so that it's more efficient. I want them to definitely know what that word means and understand it, because it's the whole key to this unit. Is anytime you work with a simple machine, you're talking about efficiency, as well as kind of getting the idea of what an assembly line is and why it's beneficial.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tony, that doesn't count. You're done. Hands up, mouths closed. Quality control. Grab the buckets. Here's where I absolutely start sorting over here. Keep them separate though, because I want to compare groups. When you were working in the assembly line, did you find waiting for materials to be a big problem? No. Was there any backup anywhere in the assembly line? This side had a big backup. Where was the backup, David?
After the paper sold out.
So you put the 2 papers together at number 2 in the staplers, so the staplers couldn't keep up.
Yeah, we had
So what do you think, if you were the factory owner of this folder company, what would you do to improve that? Brooke, you might hire 1 more person to staple. Did you have any backups over here? Yes.
We also had it a little at the tape.
At the tape. Also, up here, you had some waiting. There was some waiting up here for the line drawers, because our line drawers were really big into quality control. Really big. They wanted to make sure they had those perfect lines they were doing it. Whereas this side was eyeballing. And so we'll have to see when we go to our quality control if it made a huge difference, or if maybe that's something that we could let go. Okay? We made about 60 total, class together. So how many did we make individually? Do you remember?
30.
So we doubled our folders, the amount we made using an assembly line. We doubled them. Okay? I don't have the sheet yet. I haven't given it up. So quality control wise, this side over here had this many that were not quality.
Wait, are there?
Yep.
What was wrong with that?
How many did have quality?
What's so
And
bad?
then, so you had about 21 high quality and 9 not. So there was some stapling stuff. And then we look over here. This one had about 30, but they only had 4 that we would say are not high quality. But I will say, looking at the quality of the ones we're not calling the highest quality, they're far superior than some of the other ones that we did the first time. Like this, to be honest with you, these are nitpicking, Mr. Harkins type qualities. So we've seen the quality overall, even the low quality, go up with the assembly line. It was more consistent. Okay? Both sides did about the same. I think this side might have a little bit more than that. So what I want you to do is, which folder making method was faster? Why do you think so? What are some things you could do to improve your assembly line? So is an assembly line a technology?
Yes.
I'm glad we can say that. Technology is something that is designed to solve a problem. What problem did this assembly line solve? What problem did this assembly line solve? Shar.
Producing more of these technology folders.
More
faster,
engineering folders
with less
faster
effort.
and with less effort. So I wanted to think again about this word, efficient. Which was more efficient? The assembly line or the individual method?
The assembly line.
Anybody have a different opinion? So the efficient, and we want to think about this word, when we think about the word efficient, we want to think about it takes the least amount of effort, least amount of time to still get the same work done.